Hi everyone! Today we'll be talking about comparative and superlative adjectives.
On Google Classroom, I've uploaded a document that has 4 pages, and it goes over the rules of both comparative and superlative adjectives. The first page goes over the rules of comparing two things. The second page goes over the rules for superlative adjectives, comparing 3 or more things. The third page contains irregulars, such as bad, worse, and the worst.
Pay attention to the last page because you're going to use this to make your Flipgrid video today. Take a look at the first page. Comparative adjectives compare only two things. For our purposes, let's compare a mouse and a bear. If you are using a one-syllable adjective when talking about these two things, let's say large, all you have to do is add an ER to the end to make larger. Notice how you don't have to double the E. Larger. The bear is much larger than the mouse. Larger. 2 syllables. If you have an adjective that has 2 syllables and it ends in a Y, such as angry, you're going to change the Y to an I and add ER. Here we would say, the bear is angrier than the mouse. If you have adjective with 2 syllables and the adjective does not end in ly, let's say famous, then what you're going to do is add more before the adjective. We won't say famouser, instead we'll add more. So we could say, the mouse is more famous than the bear. Remember to use than with an A when comparing. And finally, for 3 or more syllables in an adjective, let's say fantastic, you're going to also add more before fantastic. The same rule applies as 2 syllables, not ending in Y, and with 3 or more syllables. The bear is more fantastic than the mouse. Superlative adjectives. These compare 3 things or more. A helpful way to remember superlatives is that your high school yearbook may have given senior superlatives. This is very common in a lot of high schools in the United States. For example, these 2 happy children were voted the most friendly. Out of everyone in their class, out of hundreds of other students, they were voted most friendly. This is a helpful way to remember that superlatives compare many things to one another. Now let's compare the mouse, the bear, and the frog. For a one-syllable adjective, let's use nice. If we wanted to compare these 3 things and find out which of the animals was the nicest, we would add est. The mouse is the nicest animal of the 3. So again, it's helpful to end a sentence here by telling what you're comparing. Of the 3 animals, the mouse is the nicest. For a 2-syllable adjective ending in Y, let's say angry, add the word the before the adjective, change the Y to an I, and add est. The bear is the angriest animal. For a 2-syllable adjective not ending in Y, let's say evil, again, you're going to add the before the adjective, followed by most. So we are saying the most evil animal is the frog. Be careful of redundancy. You don't need to say the most evil list because then you have most and the est ending. Just stick to the most evil. And just like with comparative adjectives, the same rule applies for superlative adjectives with 2 syllables not ending in Y and with a 3-syllable word. So for example, a 3-syllable word, romantic, We're doing the same thing as above, adding the most and leaving the word romantic. The mouse is the most romantic. Now it's your turn.
Take a look at page 4 in the document that I sent you. It looks like this. In your Flipgrid video, please compare the following things. Which house would you choose and why? Here, you're going to use comparative adjectives. For example, I would choose to live in house B because it is cozier than house A. Next, compare the two pets. We have a dog and a cat. Which pet would you choose and why? I would choose the dog because dogs are nicer and smarter and cuter than cats. Finally, pick one of the cars and explain why you believe it is best. Be careful, here you're using superlative adjectives, so that EST. I believe that car B is the most awesome car because it is the most expensive and most powerful. Now, make your Flipgrid video and please speak about all 3 choices: the house, the pet, and the car.